to this space where love is true. Open hearts and minds, there's a place for you. Gather round together, let your spirit play. In this community, we'll find our way. Every soul a story, a journey to unfold. Seeking out the wisdom, the truths of new and old. We release our fears, let the light shine bright. In the warmth of our spirit, we ignite the night. Arise, arise, through awareness we will grow. Taking responsibility for what's mine opens up the flow. Inspire living happens from the inside out. Knowing spirit is all washes away any doubt. Everyone evolves in their own perfect way. Let us hold hands as we proclaim. Arise. Steps of faith we take with courage in our hearts. Every voice a chorus, every smile a part. From every corner of our city we come anew, with open arms and spirits to embrace what's true. Feel the energy rising, the joy in the air, as we sing our song of love. Let go of despair. Here at the center, there is a seat just for you. Sharing in the laughter while we co-create the new. Rise, arise, through awareness we will grow. Taking responsibility for what's mine opens up the flow. Inspire living happens from the inside out. Knowing spirit is all washes away any doubt. Everyone evolves in their own perfect way. Let us hold hands as we proclaim. Arise. Together we explore the realms of the divine, unfolding to our potential, weaving hearts sublime. Every journey matters, every truth we share. We lift each other higher, showing how we care. So hold on to the vision, let your bliss lead the way. Live every single moment, let love fill your day. As we rise up together, a symphony of grace. Find the light within us, in the sacred space. So come one, come all, to this place of peace. In our unity, may your worries cease. With open hearts and open minds, let's embrace the call. Within the center for spiritual living, there's a place for us all. Arise, arise, let spirit be your guide. Welcome to your spiritual home. It's so great to be alive. Arise.
Well, welcome everybody. It's so good to have you with us today. We have a wonderful Sunday celebration all set up just for you. So with that, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Reverend Rachel Dilling with CSL St. George. We have some brief announcements for you so you kind of know what's going on with our community. So starting off, we have our Arise. Arise is our purpose, our process, and the way we do things at St. George CSL. Arise means being aware, awareness of where I'm at, who I am, what I'm doing, a radical responsibility of my behavior and what's going on in my life. Inside out living, meaning I start inside before I even acknowledge anything outside. Spirit is all there is because we're all one. And everyone is evolving. Our vision at CSL St. George is a community-focused center, actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that all may live their best life. Our mission is we're to do this in an open, inclusive, evolving spiritual community that supports this purpose, our purpose, and vision through sacred wisdom ceremonies or celebrations like this one, empowering transformational education, youth and young adult programs, dynamic music ministry, community outreach, and community inreach. And how we do that is through some of these things that are going on right now, which I'll talk about in a minute. So we have quite the team today. We're full. So on tech, as always, so wonderful, Tony Kovac. We've got our very talented musician, Alan. There's me as the host. Thank you. We have our wonderful, talented Hannah doing our reading today. Practitioner Sue will be doing the invocation, and then our special guest, our so special guest, Reverend Lloyd, will be doing the talk today. So I'm so excited to hear what he has to say. Then we have our Zoom call conversation today at noon. So right after this, you're going to hop right onto that. And if you need the Zoom link, you go to the website, go to events, and you'll see the Zoom conversation. The link is right there. So you can join us right afterwards. So we come back together in person in St. George at the Masonic Hall on September 13th, Inhibiting the Inner Habit with Reverend Joe. So he'll be doing the talk that day. Again, if you need more information about that or you want to watch that online, you can go right to the website. We have our wonderful practitioners that are always available for support through the good times and the bad times. The times that you need a little bit of extra love or grace, that's what they're there for. So please feel free to reach out. Again, go to the website, go to the About, and go to our spiritual counselors, and you can click on any one of them to get in contact and to get that extra love that you were looking for. We have a back to school. This is part of our outreach that we were talking about. So we want to help our local students get ready to learn for the year. So we're looking for donations, supplies, or cash donation. So bring that with you on the 13th of September when we come together in person. We also have that wonderful bookstore in the back of the room when we're in person. So check it out. You can donate a book that's relevant. You can take a book that you find interesting. Just leave a love donation. And as we learn together, we grow together. So this is a beautiful opportunity for you to see what else is available. On the 27th of September, on that fourth Sunday, we come together for the Awakening to the Mystical. This is run by our practitioner, Sue, and she is, all she asks is for a love donation or love offering. It starts at 1 o'clock. It runs to 2 o'clock. We hope to see you there. Then we have our community inreach in the sense that we want to come together as a community. So Tim, who is on our council, has put together 4 events that we can all participate. I know that I'll be there on the 26th at the Pride Festival. If you need more information about that, you can reach out to Tim. Again, go into the website, go to council, find Tim, click on him, and you can reach him via email. Also, you can reach out to him with his phone numbers if you'd like. So we'd love for you to join, to get together and be in community. Speaking of community, our very own beautiful, lovely Marina is putting together, or rebirthing, as she describes it, the Community Care Circle. If this is what your calling is, reach out to Marina so you can be part of that Community Care Circle. When people need a little extra help, when they need a little extra love, that's not through our practitioners. This is a beautiful way to participate in the community for InReach. Then Alan, again, one of our wonderful council members, is restarting or rebirthing our Joy Singers. So if you are part of the choir and you want to raise your voice in love and worship and all of those wonderful things, reach out to Alan. Again, you can go onto the website, go under council, core council, and Alan's email is right there. And then we have our connection circle. This is, it's a part prayer circle, part book study, part getting together with community. This is going to be hosted by our members, Rick and Anna. If you go onto the website and you go to council, you can find Rick's information. Just email him. We are starting this on Thursday, September 24th, and that will be again at their residence. And now we get to listen to some amazing music. So, Alan, it's so good to see you.
It's good to be seen, Reverend Rachel. Good to
Excellent.
see you.
What are you sharing with us today?
Today, I'm going to start off with Holy Now.
Excellent.
And it's written and performed by Peter Mayer. It's
Beautiful.
a real nice little song. So
I look forward to it.
Yes. Everybody, you're welcome to sing along. The lyrics will be posted up there when I get started. And, sometimes I follow them, sometimes I don't. But anyway, you can sing along. When I was a boy each week, on Sunday I would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything is holy now. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick, if there's anything here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding that there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but all I walk on Reverend air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face, say it's not the Testament. I think that'd be hard to say. see a new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, I don't think it can be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture was. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. There used to be a world half there, heaven said rate hand me down, but I walk it with reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Now we're going to bring along Hannah, and she's going to read for us.
Hi, thank you, Alan. Beautiful song. And today's reading I'm taking from the Dalai Lama book, The Path to Tranquility, Its Daily Wisdom. So this is a reading in his book from May 25th. And so first person is actually the Dalai Lama talking. And he says, I find that there are two types of fear. In one kind, things are quite delicate or critical. At such times, I know that I must make a decision, whether I know what to do or not. First, I try to consult with my friends and reflect on it. Then I make a decision and act, and I never have any regret. Ultimately, this is very much related to motivation. If I have no negative, selfish motivation, deep down, I will have no guilty feeling. A second kind of fear is based on imagination. To overcome that, you need calmness so that you can investigate it more closely. When you look into it in detail, your imaginary fear dissipates. And to me, that basically says that knowledge can dissipate fear. So the more we know, the better it is to deal with that fear, and also to connect with friends, to connect with teachers, to connect with counselors, and we have practitioners that we can connect with too. And then there's our ministers as well. So as we connect with each other, we can find wisdom in what we can help each other talk about and learn from each other, and we increase our knowledge. And I feel like that helps us with our fear. So that is today's reading, and I will now pass on the time and the screen to Sue Fulmer, one of our practitioners, for the invocation.
Thank you. What a beautiful morning. Please join me as I utter the affirmative prayer. In Science of Mind, we do a prayer treatment, and it has 5 distinguishable parts, and you might be able to pick those out as I pray today. I recognize in this moment of prayer the presence of Holy Spirit. Everything is holy now. Everything is a creation of the Holy One, of love, of universal intelligence. And I know that I am a magnificent creation of the One, as are all us that are gathered here today via the internet. I know that is a miracle today, to be able to meet in our homes and hear this message and share the songs and the prayers, knowing that there are miracles everywhere. I am grateful for that presence within me, within all creation. Grateful today for this Sunday celebration, for being able to share the knowledge and the wisdom and the philosophy that we have in religious science that taps into truth truth from all the ages. I am grateful for our speaker today, Reverend Lloyd, and I know that his word is guided by Spirit and that it comes into each home and each heart to take us where we are and take the next step in faith and in love. In my gratitude, I release my word, knowing it goes into the law of God that speaks only truth, that speaks only love, that returns only good. And in that moment of truth and good, I say, and so it is. Namaste.
Namaste, Sue. That's great. Thank you. So it is. Here's a little song by David Alt. And you better sing along, because I can got my eye on y'all here. These shoes I've worn thin, and the dust that covers them gives a clue to where I've been. But now I've returned to a hope that nurtures me, and love has remedy from all the lies and doubts and the shame that seemed unending. Now I'm awakening, I stand and sing, I return to the source of my creation, opening to my place of transformation. Now I see love lives in me. I return to the glory of our oneness, flourishing, fearless, free, and fully conscious mightily. I stand and sing. I have returned. Day after day, there are many paths to choose. Some we win and some we lose. Still all lead to one, where the hearts that tarry there believe in love beyond compare. Finally I trust your embrace and give thanks for the journey here. Yes, I'm awakening, I stand and sing, I return to the source of my creation, opening to my place of transformation. Now I see love lives in me. I return to the glory of our oneness, flourishing, fearless, free, and fully conscious, mightily. I stand and sing, I have returned. I return to the source of my creation, opening to my place of transformation. Now I see love lives in me. I return to the glory of our oneness, flourishing, fearless, free, and fully conscious. Mightily I stand and sing. I have returned. I have returned. I have returned.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I feel like it says so much.
Thank
I
you.
have returned. I'm
Yes,
here.
we have.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it. So next we have Reverend Lloyd, who's going to be talking, and we are so blessed to have him. So before we started, I said, Reverend Lloyd, what would you like me to tell? How do you want me to introduce you? And he said, tell a story. And so here's the story. So for his birthday one year, his wife said, what do you want for your birthday? And he said, well, I just want us to vision. I want us to vision. I want to understand my purpose in life. And through that visioning process with his beautiful wife, he came up with an acronym. It's TISH, which is T for teach, I for inspire, S for support, and H for heal. And that is so absolutely Reverend Lloyd in my experience of him. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Reverend Lloyd Barrett, who is going to inspire us today. Welcome.
Good. Thank you, and good morning. Indeed, it is a joy to be with Reverend Rachel, Reverend Joe, Tony, and the entire team at CSL St. George, Utah. Thank you for your graciousness, for your thoughtfulness, and your love. Our focus today is approved to be awakened, approved to be awakened. My intention is to begin with about 3 affirmations, to share them at a pace where, if you so desire, you might just share them within, because as we know, any work of consciousness first begin within. As one mystic said, if we cannot get it from within, where will we go for it? The first affirmation: I am receptive to infinite possibilities. My good knows my name. I repeat, I am receptive to infinite possibilities. My good knows my name. The second is profound truth infuse my mind. I repeat, profound truth infuse my mind. I am productive and I am prosperous in prolific ways. Profound truth infuse my mind. I am prosperous in prolific ways. And the final one in preparing to share is a quote from Schubert. I opened my mind and the symphony began. I opened my mind and the symphony began. Indeed, I am grateful to share today. I open my mind to the totality of divine wisdom, the infusion of joy, totally saturated with pure love and infused with divine intelligence, as I share the truth relating to approved to be awakened. To be awakened has within it trusting. Ernest Holmes said, if our good did not already exist in the invisible, there is no way, he said, that we could attain it. I wonder to what degree are we conscious that truly our heart's desires, our good, is already present in the invisible. In his book, Your Invisible Power, Ernest Holmes wrote the following: we are in partnership with the infinite, and the name of this partnership is God and Company. He continues, this partnership can never be dissolved. And then for this paragraph, he concludes, with God and Company, Ernest wrote, business is always good. Do you like that partnership? How would we enjoy a partnership where, whether it relates to work, health, relationship, a new business, business is always good. Now, as we explore this topic, approved to be awakened, sometimes our awakening is quite unexpected. It's like a journey. On a long road trip, as an example, we have our plans, and as we continue on the journey, sometimes there are roadblocks, detours, waiting times, and yet the journey awaits. It reminds me of a thought that came from a meditative time that says, the journey has not lost the spark, although the path seems long. So even though life's journey might be challenging, perhaps the awakening might not be on schedule as we thought. The awakening is possible. The awakening might come in various ways. As an example, my very first church in El Centro, California, I was asked to visit someone in the hospital. I was quite new in the ministry, and certainly at El Centro. That was my first assignment. When I arrived in the hospital, the doctor and nurse was at the patient's bedside. The doctor said to me, "Reverend, you don't need to stay." I asked why. He said, "She's 97 and she won't live to get out of the hospital." I think I was gracious. I said, "Doctor, you know, I don't do medical work. I came here to do prayer work. I would like to do at least a brief thought even if it's to affirm that there is a peaceful energy and atmosphere that is prevalent within and around this person, this patient. The doctor said to me, wait in the hall and the nurse will come for you. The nurse came, and on the way to the patient's bedside, she said to me, don't forget, the patient has not spoken to anyone in 3 days. I was unaware of that. I frequently make hospital visits with positive, affirmative thoughts on a 3x5 card. That day, I read the first 2 cards. As I was about to read the 3rd card, the patient opened her eyes and said, my mind is rich. My whole body is rich. I said to the nurse, nurse, may I borrow your pencil? Because she's more profound than the things I have on these cards. The nurse laughed. I did a closing prayer treatment. Now remember, please, the doctor said she would not likely live to be out of the hospital. She was 97. My wife and I visited her about 2 weeks after she was released from the hospital. At that time, she lived in a little town called Holtville. Interestingly enough, Holtville at one time was called the carrot capital of the United States. That entire area, Imperial County, has tremendous agricultural productivity. When we visited her, she could sit up for about 15 minutes on her own. A few weeks later, we returned, she could sit up for about 45 minutes. I kept in touch with her family and did prayer support. Without seeing her, I thought, well, maybe she would still be at home. And one day, my wife and I attended an all-Mozart concert at a local Presbyterian church, and we were early. And there she was, sitting in the front row, full awakening, fully alert. It is important to remind ourselves that nothing is impossible to happen and nothing is too good to be true. The mystic Lao Tzu said, withdraw within the self and look. And if you do not find yourself beautiful yet, imagine you are an artist about to create a masterpiece. He suggests, cut away all that is unnecessary. Straighten out all that is crooked and bring to light all that is overcast. And then we will discover ourselves to be that most magnificent person that we already are. In other words, let us get in the full throttle of divine awakening, where we experience more breakthroughs and even talk about less breakdowns. May we take the time to so be conscious, whether it's in meditation, affirmative prayers, readings, introspective and inner moments, to honor the beauty of the divine presence within us. I believe it was Meister Eckhart who said, Go first to God, then go to others as God directs. He also said, if God seemed far away, who moved? May we not confuse facts with spiritual truths. Example, I was asked to counsel a businessman. He was a very successful person in the financial field. And I had facilitated a class, Women in New Thought, and some women with biblical connections. And he said to me, Reverend Lloyd, how can I get some of the faith and the strong beliefs those women had? I said, well, they did not wait until there was time to call 911 before they prayed or before they called on the divine. And I mentioned the fact that a prophet, he was a gentleman that was more familiar with traditional churches. He was a Baptist from Texas, but he had a very successful business. And I reminded him of the biblical thought that says, call unto me, and I will answer you and show you great and marvelous things that you know not of. He asked me if I would counsel with him once per month. During that time, I would sit in the silence, not knowing what he would be discussing when he entered my office. One day he said to me, Reverend Lloyd, I've got to tell you the truth. Those ideas that you are sharing, that you said you are getting from your meditations, he said, don't be angry, but they certainly sound woo-woo to me. I assured him that I did not design the thoughts or the scripts that I was sharing, that they were intuitive thoughts and ideas that evolved from my meditation. I did graciously assure him that I had no apologies. For instance, one day he came in and I said, the intuitive idea I have today is write an ad for your business as if the divine presence, in its wisdom, in its intelligence, and its unlimited aspect, is writing that ad for your business. He paused. I said, the fact is, if we always write our ads based on what happened last year, while we are grateful for what happened, I don't know if the universe is focusing on the fact that from a factual point, you might have made an 8% increase last year. And this year, you might say, well, another 6% would be great. My question to him was, what if we really believed in unlimited? What if we really believe that nothing is impossible to happen and nothing is too good to be true? What if we really believe that an awakening beyond our wildest dreams is possible? An awakening occurred. A month later, he came in with tremendous enthusiasm and joy. He said, Reverend Lloyd, keep doing that woo-woo stuff. I said, what happened? He said, Reverend Lloyd, I made more money in 30 days than I did the last 6 months. I might have shouted. You see, the awakening might come at unexpected times, but it is important that we establish and maintain an inner pattern. Now, an inner pattern might be sitting in the silence, consistently having positive affirmations. It might be relating to Dr. Ernest Holmes saying, let us thrust aside half-truths and grasp the whole. Now, here are some strategies to enhance our approval and to manifest awakening. Perhaps you are already engaged in these positive practices. Take the first and last letters in your name, your first name and the last name, the first letters, and create a positive thought. I might call it my own positive headline. For instance, RD. It could be renewed delightfulness. It could be JK, joyfully knowing. Now, a practice that I suggest is, I call it MPM, Mind Power Moments. This is a daily practice to infuse the mind, to solidify spiritual truths, and to activate the awakening we desire. The idea is to take a very simple word, the simplest word you can think of. Example, GO, great opportunities. So in other words, for our mind power moment tomorrow, Monday, it might be a deep breath. GO, great opportunities are available for me today. IT, another deep breath. Inspirational times are mine. I have been practicing this MPM, Mind Power Moment. It works. It is aligned to the thought by Dr. Holmes when he said, we must keep our minds clear so that when Spirit bring our gifts, we are ready to receive them. I'm closing with this very interesting, and I'll call it almost mystical story. My mother transitioned in 2021 in Jamaica at age 99. She transitioned July of that year, and she became ill in late March. My mother prayed every day in Jamaica and wherever she was. And she would frequently call me and said, son, when you pray, use the name Yahweh. It gives you more power. Now I have to be honest. When I was a pharmaceutical salesman, and a brewery representative, I did not pray every day. And so I would sort of smile or even laugh when my mother would call me from Jamaica. Well, I asked her on one occasion, Mom, how is it you have traveled to England 3 or 4 times? You've traveled to Canada, the United States, maybe 6 or more times, and you have never had a job. She said, but son, I pray. Well, I tried to be gracious. I said, well, Mom, I pray and work. She said, son, you have to believe. When I started making the decision about being a minister, I let my mom know. I wrote her. We had never heard of Science of Mind in Jamaica. My mom came to Long Beach, where I lived, and asked, son, tell me about these positive affirmations. As I proceeded to share with her that they were positive thoughts whose energy supersede the facts. In other words, if a person is ill, we do not say they are not ill, but we focus on the answer. As I proceeded to share my understanding of affirmations, my mother said, son, I think I understand it. Your affirmations are your spiritual bodyguards. Let us accept this truth. Greatness awaits to be born in the womb of our minds. I have a nephew who is now a certified neurologist and an immunologist. And he reminded me that at age 12, I was visiting in Jamaica, and I said that thought to him. Greatness is being born in the womb of your mind. He said to me, Uncle, do you know that thought you shared with me at age 12 is the thought that has carried me through medical school? I offer you this divine reality. Facts are important, but facts alone do not control life's situations. There are higher vibrations. There are higher dimensions of reality. In 2007, when a doctor in Colorado told me nothing could be done because the fever had lasted for almost 3 weeks between 102 and 104, and my body had started to show signs of shaking or tremors, which humorously I called it my own earthquake. But I called on the divine. I called on the divine for healing, for breakthrough, for moving beyond the medical facts into the arena of spiritual documented truth and be in alignment with infinite possibilities. I affirm for everyone, our awakening is now. Our greatness is here. As it is stated in biblical writings, the time has come for a more excellent way. And as Ernest Holmes said, our standard is one of excellence. Love and blessings to all.
Thank you, Reverend Lloyd. That was wonderful. I wrote down, I took notes while you were talking. And it reminds me of nothing is impossible to happen and nothing is too good to be true. And so it is. Thank you. So none of this happens without us coming together, without us being part of the center and the center of spiritual living. So we need to invest, right? We need to invest what we want to grow. We need to water and add soil and sunshine. And that's what the abundant prosperity is all about. So time, treasure, talents are the things that we invest into our center, and we watch it grow into something amazing. So when you are investing your time and your treasure, your talents, it's time, make sure you reach out to Reverend Joe or myself so that we can get you involved in the way that serves you and us best and the center best. When you are tithing or investing your finances, your treasure, you can do it through Zelle, which is a great way of doing it, bank to bank, or you can do it online by using the QR code right here. We have that brand new app that it's very easy to go into the app and simply hit tithe, and that makes that happen wonderfully. Or you can actually write a check and mail it too. That works as well. So what I want you to do is whatever that gift is, that tithing is, that time, treasure, or talent, I want you to put that, imagine that in your hand, and I want you to put it on your heart. And I want, please say with me, with the feeling and the authenticity and the joy of what it is intended to be. I say, I am overflowing with love and abundance. I give from this source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. And in return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so grateful that you have joined us today. Thank you, Reverend Lloyd, for joining us and coming in and speaking for us today. Thank you, Hannah, for your wonderful reading. Alan, for the amazing music. Sue, for the beautiful prayer. And now, Tony, are you ready? Let's do it.
Each and every moment, I remember who I am. I show up uniquely in the world in the way that only I can. I keep my thoughts clear, I create my own day. I know that there is power in every word I say. I show up, I glow up with every word I speak. I take it day by day and do it all again next week. I am abundant, I am free. I am love, I am me. I am joy, I am the light of the sun. I know who I am, and that we are one.
Thank you. Guys, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Okay. So what do we